After midnight, the city exhales. The streets become quieter. But somewhere beneath the silence, a rhythm begins to breathe. Not loud, not fast, just a pulse moving slowly through the veins of the night. A distant engine hums. A light flickers across empty asphalt, and suddenly the darkness feels alive again. Something is coming. Not chaos, not noise, but energy waiting to rise. Drop wall. And a bass alive. Slow. Header. Ride. Like footsteps in the dark. Every beat pushes the night forward. Every pulse moves through the ground. The city begins to wake, not with sunlight, but with sound. Build. Layers begin to climb. Now the rhythm expands. A beat falls stronger. The synth breathes wider. The night becomes endless. Every light in the distance feels like part of the music. Every movement, every shadow, every heartbeat moves synchronized. Break down. Everything softens. The bass fades. The rhythm slows. The air becomes lighter for a moment. The city listens, waiting for the storm to return. Final drop. Then it explodes again. Deeper. Stronger. More powerful than before. Bass shaking the pavement. Thirst cutting to the night. The rhythm no longer whispers. Now it commands. Then the darkness moves with it. Eventually, the energy drifts away. The streets calm again. The skyline grows quiet. But the memory of the rhythm remains somewhere inside the night, waiting for the next midnight to rise again. The city slowly falls to silence, cold wind drifting through the street. Purple shadows paint the skyline, waiting for the rising beat. Somewhere deep beneath the pavement, engines whisper soft and low. Like a heartbeat in the darkness from the underground below. Every solo starts to listen, every corner feels the sound. When the siren night awakens and the bass begins to pound through the echoes of the highway, through the rhythm of the drive, something deep inside the speakers starts to pull the night alive. Drop for hell. Drop for hell. With a bassline break the silence, every thunder through the night. Every heartbeat racing faster, every shadow feels the light. Engines roaring through the darkness, speakers shaking through the air. Every dancer in the midnight finds the rhythm ever near. Energy begins to rising like a storm across the ground. Every second pulling deeper into layers of the sound. Purple lights ignite the skyline, steel reflections start to glow. Every pulse becomes electric in the rhythm down below. Drop a rail. Drop the rail. Now the underground ignites through the engines of the rave. Every soul begins to travel on the ignited techno wave. Speakers shaking every heartbeat, basslines rolling through the ground. Every shadow starts ascending when the techno sound bass. Every heartbeat racing faster through the endless metal space. Purple lights ignite the skyline, engines screaming through the night. Every shadow turns electric in the waves of sound and light. Drop the red, drop the red. Drop the red. Drop the red. Drop the women's melodies are surviving while the echoes fade away. But the memory of the rhythm in our hearts will always stay. Because somewhere in the midnight, where the silent highways run, the pulse of dark techno waits again for everyone. Midnight drifting through the skyline, empty roads beneath the light, cold wind whispering through steel streets, calling to the endless night. Through the silence of the highway, through the echoes of the town, there's a rhythm slowly forming when the bass begins to pound. Every shadow slowly moving, every heartbeat feeling sound. When the underground awakens and the speakers shake the ground. Through the city neon silence, through the rhythm of the drum. Now the underground is burning through the engines of the rave. Every pulse becomes a lightning on the hypnotic techno wave. Through the highways of the midnight, through the echoes of the tide, every soul becomes electric when the rhythm comes alive. Then the storm begins to soften, only distant echoes stay, like a memory of thunder, slowly drifting far away. But the pulse remains alive, deep beneath the silent sky, waiting for the final fire of the bass rising high. Suddenly the maze is turning like a fire in the night. Every shadow turning brighter, every soul begins to cry. Through the endless dark horizon, through the endings of the rave, every heartbeat moves forever on the hypnotic techno Morning slowly starts arriving while the echoes disappear. But the memory of the rhythm still inside the night is clear. Because somewhere in the darkness, where the endless highways bend, the pulse of underground techno waits for us to rise again. Night falls differently in the city, not like darkness, but like a slow curtain, covering everything with quiet. Cars disappear, windows dim, footsteps fade, yet somewhere far away, a rhythm begins to grow. Not seen, but fact. Oh, loud. The first bass note lands. Low, deep, unavoidable. Like gravity pulling everything closer. The streets vibrate softly. The air becomes heavier. And the night starts moving again. Zob. A melody rises slowly, not bright. Not flat, but emotional, like a memory drifting through sound. The bass rolls beneath it, holding everything together. The energy climbs, second by second, until the night can't stay still anymore. Drop 10 Now the rhythm spreads across the streets, across the skyline, across the darkness itself. Every beat pushes forward, every synth stretches wider. The city becomes a living machine, powered by sound, and the techno pulse becomes unstoppable. Break down! Then suddenly, everything breathes again. The bass pauses. The rhythm floats like fog, drifting above the streets. A quiet moment before the final wave arrives. Final. But this time, it moves with pure energy. Eventually the rhythm softens, the streets calm down, the lights grow distant. But somewhere inside the silence, the pulse remains, waiting for another night to begin again. Slowly over the city, not like darkness falling, but like a quiet breath spreading across the skyline. Lights shimmer on distant towers, and the empty streets begin to echo, with the faint hum of engines a movie somewhere away. There is something different about nights like this. The air feels heavier, the silence deeper, as if the city itself is waiting for something to begin. Somewhere beneath the glow of streetlights, a rhythm starts forming quietly. Not loud enough to be heard yet, but strong enough to be felt. It moves through the asphalt, through the glass reflections of tall buildings, through every corner where the night hides its secrets, and slowly, almost gently, the sign begins to rise. Bassline arrives like distant thunder, rolling low beneath the city lights. It doesn't rush, it doesn't explode. It simply takes control of the atmosphere. Each beat pushes forward with quiet confidence, spreading across the empty streets like waves moving through dark water. The skyline begins to glow by, as if every window reflects the rhythm. The night is no longer silent now. It is breathing with the music. Layers begin to unfold gradually. A deep synth appears in the distance, floating like a signal across the horizon. The rhythm grows stronger with every passing moment, pulling the energy higher and higher. The air vibrates softly with anticipation. Lights blur across the pavement, and the city starts to feel alive again. Every second builds tension in the atmosphere, like a storm gathering power above the skyline. The sound expands wider, deeper, more hypnotic. And the night keeps rising with it. Then the rhythm opens completely. Bass rolls across the streets with unstoppable momentum, or melodic echoes stretch through the darkness like glowing trails of sound. Everything begins to move with the music. The buildings, the lights, the empty highways, they all feel connected to the same pulse. This is the moment when the night becomes endless. The rhythm is no longer just music, it becomes motion, energy, gravity pulling everything deeper into the sound. And once you fall into it, there is no turning back. Suddenly, the intensity fades into something softer. The bass steps back for a moment, leaving only distant echoes drifting through the air. The city breathes again. Bright shimmer quietly off the skyline, and the silence between each note feels almost emotional. It is the calm before the final wave. You can feel it building again, hidden beneath the quiet surface limelight. Without warning, the energy returns stronger than before. The bass surges forward like a tidal force, shaking the streets and filling the skyline with power. Every sound becomes sharper, every beat heavier, every moment brighter than the last. The rhythm now controls the night completely. Lights flash across the horizon. The air vibrates with deep hypnotic energy, and the city becomes part of the music itself. For a moment it feels infinite, like the night will never end. Eventually the end begins to fade. Not suddenly, but slowly, like the final glow of distant lights disappearing on the horizon. The rhythm softens, the bass strips and flies out to silence. The city returns to its quiet state once again. The swinging winds away, the memory of the sound that filled the night. And somewhere in the distance, beneath the quiet sky again, the pulse of the underground is already waiting.